1 year ago, I made this video saying that rapid trigger is something everyone in the gaming world will use. Lo and behold, it was true. And we're pushing the boundaries of what keyboards can do to give you a competitive edge. We all heard about the snap tap drama from CS2 that plagued 2024 so far, and we do try to think of workarounds that bring us closer to the perfect movement. Therefore, we are going to discuss keyboards that are hot topics on the market and some dark horses that are trying to enter the market with a smaller brand. As you know, I'm not a tech reviewer, but a pro player. If you expect this video to cover all the technicalities, I have bad news for you. We're going to talk about actual feeling and some experience-based takes on 4 keyboards of different brands: Wooting, Razer Huntsman, and potentially hidden gems in Book 75 and IQUNIX EZ63. I or this video are not sponsored, which means no ads, and my opinions are truly mine, but I got these keyboards for free to test them out and share my feedback with the community. Enough yap, let's dive into it, and we start with Wooting to use it as an anchor data point in our video for further references and comparisons. I received the newest Wooting 80HE, and considering its hype, I wanted to immediately try it out. I've been using it for past 4 weeks, and honestly, I don't think I will be switching to another keyboard anytime soon. Obviously, it has all the important features that you need to get to keep that competitive advantage, and that is why countless professional players use that despite being sponsored by a competitor brand. Let's start with what I noticed instantly during unboxing. The keyboard looks and feels like a premium product. I got the cheaper plastic version, but we will talk about customization in a bit. The design is very minimalistic. It doesn't show any Wooting logos anywhere and overall fits into most setups. This is what you will find inside the box, and honestly, I was surprised how durable everything felt. Robust, but at the same time sleek in a sense. Enough of that, I have to give props to the actual fit to prop up your keyboard at either a 6 degrees or 10 degrees angle. I absolutely love this. I love to play at maximum tilt, not in game, just with my keyboard. Due to better ergonomics, my hands don't get as tired this way. These feet are made from rubber to ensure the keyboard just sticks into place unless you're Nico and you shake the whole desk around with a precise slam. Next up was me connecting the keyboard with a 2-meter long braided USB-C to C cable. It has very much a plug-and-play vibe to it, so no need to set up or download anything. All the drivers are, as Wooting is known for, done in your web browser through Utility, and you get to adjust just about everything you think of. Actuation point, rapid trigger, custom RGB effects, remapping keys if you're into that, or tweaking light indicator, which is a super resourceful way to provide you with information about your keyboard. This indicator is just about the arrow keys, and it can give you various signals such as what mode your keyboard is in currently. It can act as a progress bar of key press, or you can utilize it as a simple caps lock indicator. You can get really nerdy with this. The last thing I want to mention in the driver section are advanced keys, which seem overwhelming at first, but they are nicely explained in case you need to squeeze the maximum out of the keyboard. Whatever you set here, just save it and the keyboard will remember it forever. No need to set things up again on a different PC, so that is really handy if you're actually traveling for a lot of events or LANs or using different setups to game on. Another signature of Wooting is certainly its sound. I'm a pro player. 99% of the time I use a keyboard, I have a headset on, but having this keyboard sometimes makes me drop the headphones because the sound is very quiet. They describe it as giving it a thok while providing a snappy feedback, and I didn't know what thok should be, but now I understand. It's like this dull, soothing sound that kind of makes me type more often. It is weird to describe, so have a listen. This sound test was done on Linear 60 V2 keycaps, which brings me to the point of customization. You can really get deep into the looks of the keyboard. You can buy the whole keyboard or just a module of it. Furthermore, you can obviously choose a key layout between ANSI, ISO and JIS with different languages. Then the big talking point is the style, either going for PCR plastic or zinc alloy, but that can get significantly more expensive. And then we have various keycaps to choose from. The choices might look overwhelming at first, but honestly, if you're not a keyboard enthusiast, you might go for what I have, which is probably cheapest variant at a pricing point of €219.99. Just for reference, the zinc alloy variant goes up to €319.99 and and comes with travel case to protect that precious baby. If you want to know performance for value, head over to the chapter My Recommendation at the end of the video. So what is the next step for Wooting? I'm not sure what they can improve to push the boundary of keyboards again. One thing that comes to mind is that players are becoming tired of cables, trying to get that clean wireless desk setup, so having a wireless option could be an area of improvement. I understand that it will be a challenge of its own to keep the performance while maintaining the good battery life, but hey, keep the technicalities to Wooting, they seem to know what they're doing. I use this keyboard for the majority of the year. I used it mainly for competitive games while traveling around the world for CS2 tournaments. I have to say, I was pretty happy with it, and I only realized its small flaws once I got the Wooting, so I had something to compare it with. Design-wise, it looks very solid, and you can clearly see that it's by Razer just by the font on the keycaps, and it's much more durable because of the top plate from aluminum. We also have two options for angle adjustments, this time 6 and 9 degrees. The keys stick out from the keyboard completely, which is kind of funny, where once I traveled for a tournament with it and the suitcase, and I forgot to put it in original box as a cover I usually use, and when I unpacked the suitcase in my hotel room, like 10 keycaps were gone, scattered across my baggage. Nothing was broken, I popped them right in, but be careful if you travel with your gear a lot. When it comes to drivers, things are more complicated. You need to download Razer Synapse, which can be a bit annoying sometimes, but once it works, the setup is very straightforward. There is a bigger friction compared to web-based utility. For the actual software features, they share a lot of similarities though. You do have rapid trigger, analog input, adjustable and dual step actuation, and obviously Razer's snap tap, which you cannot use in CS2 anymore anyway. I know polling rate is a big buzzword lately, so I do not consider this a big deal, but Razer has only 1000 Hz, while Wooting goes up to 8000 Hz. At the same position as Wooting, you will find few light indicators showing you at keyboard mode, settings, caps lock and scroll lock. These, to my knowledge, are not customizable compared to light bar of Wooting. At the top right, you will find 3 extra knobs that are multifunctional, but honestly, I hate you cannot turn these keys off. Sometimes I accidentally touch the big knob, which turns my volume slightly up or down without me realizing, and from what I've gathered, I'm not the only one with the same issue. The problem is that the volume dial kind of sticks out away from keyboard, so it is easy to hit when your right hand goes from holding mouse to typing on keyboard and vice versa. Razer is using Gen 2 analog optical switches and double shot PBT keycaps, so let's hear them. To me, the sound was never an issue until I tried Wooting. Then I realized how loud, how rattled it is. I understand some players like to have that audible cue when keys are pressed, but for me it was too much, especially with larger keys like backspace and mainly space. When we are talking about customization, the keyboard comes in 2 different colors, black and white. Both look very clean depending on what kind of colorful scheme setup you're running, but I have to mention both of these variations come with a magnetic handrest. I personally don't use it, but for some it's a must-have to help with ergonomics. Razer also offers a mini version of this keyboard, which is 60% layout, but as I stated during Wooting 60HE review last year, that layout is just way too small for me, and I cannot ever get used to it. I wanted to test this keyboard due to its very clean design and the promise of best-in-class sound, but after a month of testing, I ended up in disappointment due to a few findings. Just in the first day, I came across significant bugs, like keys just not working along with some other driver bugs. There have been updates that apparently improve this, but after reading their Discord, it's apparent that their software is not yet comparable to the likes of Wooting. Back to what was the most interesting aspect of the keyboard? The sound. It really sounded amazing when I first got it. It was deep, thocky sound, but as you might have noticed, I say was. After a month of use, I have to say that the sound has changed significantly to my ear, and on the Discord, I have found multiple people reporting the same. I don't know why this happens, but I didn't see any other reviewer mention this, and I think it is very important. The sound is much clackier, higher pitched to me now, sounding closer to other Hall effect keyboards in this video, and it is hard to determine if this would get even worse after more use, so it feels hard to recommend. Looks wise, it is very clean though. It feels like if they would iron out the software and the sound changing over time, it would be best in class. But the reality is different. I tried giving feedback 2 months ago and I still haven't received a response. They released firmware updates, but while they fix some issues, they also bring new bugs and break old features. I just cannot recommend this keyboard overall. Last keyboard we will be looking at is Easy63. Once I got it, I was a bit skeptical. After all, I am not a fan of 60% layout at all, but I figured I would give any kind of feedback for improvements. And after a few days of use, despite me liking the design and sound, I just had to give up because it was simply making me worse in games where I need a lot of binds and I am used to function keys row too much. However, the clicks really made an impression on me. So much so that this keyboard became my to-go keyboard whenever I travel and I have to write videos, content or emails on the road. The magnetic switches work together with esport gasket mounts so well. The size is now the advantage as I can fit it easily anywhere, but I still feel weird about it. I mean, I'm using a keyboard with all the features for esports just to type emails. It has 8K polling rate, which even Huntsman didn't have. It has adjustable actuation with 0.05mm accuracy, rapid trigger, and with aluminum case, it is pure aesthetics. If you're into 60% layout, I think this keyboard might be worth looking into. It is just personally not the right fit for me, but I will keep an eye out for this brand for their future products. Let's talk about something most of you clicking this video will care about the most: the value of cost for performance for each keyboard. Wooting, as we mentioned, starts at €219.99 and to me is the best gaming keyboard right now on the market. I think it will be a go-to brand for many pro players in upcoming months and probably 2025. For Huntsman, you pay €949.99 and honestly, despite higher price, I would not consider it a better product compared to Wooting. I understand some players might want to lean into that Razer ecosystem with RGBs, but for me, that is not important too much. For Book 75, I will repeat myself, I can recommend this keyboard, and the price tag of €230, I expected just much more. For the last product, we mentioned Easy63 by IQUNIX. I'm kind of torn. The product itself is good, I think reasonably priced at €160, but I think I just wasn't able, once again, to get used to 60% layout. If you're a fan of 60%, I would rate it even higher than popular 60% version of Wooting, which I covered in a video last year. And it's cheaper, by a bit, but cheaper. However, these prices are not cheap, I understand. If you want to gain competitive advantage, I would suggest investing elsewhere. You can perform very well on mechanical keyboard, half the price we mentioned in this video. I would suggest investing in high refresh rate monitor or hardware like GPU or CPU to keep those frames up is going to make you a better player, more likely than getting a €300 keyboard. That is just my honest opinion. Feel free to disagree and we can talk about it in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching and in the meantime, bye bye. Huge shout out to my Ko-fi members for your continual support so I can make videos like this for you. And you should be seeing their names on the screen right now, and if you want to appear here too, please do check my Ko-fi page where you can gain tons of cool and exclusive perks at various tiers of membership. And when I say cool and exclusive, I truly mean it. Go check it out. It's worth it. I promise. Thank you for making my content better and possible.